So what's the question?
Oh, you know.
Where did you join, Aindra Baba?
When did I join?
Where?
I joined in Washington, D.C. But I don't think it should be turned into how I joined the Hare Krishna movement.
What made you come to Vrindavan?
Well, one of the things that made me come to Vrindavan was sheer frustration with what was happening in the rest of the movement. What can I say? I don't think we have to elaborate on that very much. I think probably enough devotees, have had sufficient experience over the course of the time after Prabhupada left to probably understand at least a little about what I'm referring to. But I thought that at least Vrindavan being home and me being the insignificant bug that I am, that if I'm going to make any kind of contribution to try to, in whatever small way I can, help the situation, that at least I could try to chant Hare Krishna in Vrindavan, with respect to Srila Prabhupada's statements, and in at least one class that he gave here in Vrindavan, I remember he mentions that any devotional service done here in Vrindavan has 1,000 times the benefit that the same devotional service done anywhere else in the world. So I figured that even if it is only for my own good, I would be doing myself 1,000 times the good, of being self-centered about my devotional service by being self-centered about my devotional service in Vrindavan, than being self-centered about my devotional service anywhere else in the world. But seeing as to how practically everyone who comes to this movement gets the idea from Srila Prabhupada that we shouldn't be self-centered about our devotional service, but we should try to do good to others. So, just like Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that higher than living in Vrindavan for one's own good, is to leave Vrindavan for the benefit of others. But if you take the statement that devotional service is magnified 1,000 times in Vrindavan, then take into consideration also that staying in Vrindavan for the benefit of others must also be having 1,000 times the power of benefiting others than trying to benefit others anywhere else in the world. So that's also something that might be taken into consideration by persons who want to benefit others in a lazy, intelligent way. Lazy, intelligent means that with less effort, without having to turn your wheels, so to speak, you can accomplish more. At least you can accomplish more for the people who come in contact with you.
Could you tell a little bit about what do you do in Vrindavan? What service do you do?
Personally, it seems to me that I'm hardly doing much of anything these days. But in Padma Purana, it mentions that anyone who gives an idea or anyone who facilitates the fruition of that idea, or anyone who encourages someone to follow or pursue that idea, that they get 1/6 of the benefit of whatever was accomplished by pursuing that idea. In other words, if I suggest to someone that, why don't you distribute some books in Vrindavan? Because if you distribute books in Vrindavan or Mayapur, because Mayapur and Vrindavan are on the same platform, so if you distribute books in Vrindavan, then whoever distributes the book gets the benefit of distributing 1,000 books for every book that he distributes. And whoever receives the book, talking about benefiting others, whoever receives the book, he gets the benefit of having received 1,000 books. Or in other words, received a book 1,000 times over. That much benefit is going into that person's transcendental bank account. So if I suggest to someone that why don't you distribute books in Vrindavan, and someone takes it seriously, understanding the magnitude of the import of my idea, then I get the benefit of 1/6 of the result going into my own transcendental bank account. So, if I suggest to someone that why don't you chant Hare Krishna, why don't you take up 24-hour kirtan, as I'm supposed to be in charge of overseeing the 24-hour kirtan here in Vrindavan, and if I facilitate in some way or encourage people to engage in pure devotional Yuga Dharma Nam Sankirtan, at least hopefully pursuing the path of pure devotional principles, then even though I may not be doing as much kirtan as I used to do, because I used to do hours and hours, and now it seems like I'm lucky if I can do an hour, but still, those who take up my suggestion automatically, without knowing it or knowing it, they part with 1/6 of the benefit of their having taken up that devotional service in the Dham. And that goes for anyone. If anyone, whether you're inside the Dham or outside of the Dham, if you suggest to someone, if you facilitate someone, if you encourage someone, to follow a particular idea, then there's so much benefit. And you can always suggest to them that they suggest to others the same idea. Then it's almost like a pyramid, wherein you get the benefit of them, suggesting to others, getting the benefit, and getting the benefit of suggesting to others to suggest to others to suggest to others. In this way, the parampara goes on.
Yeah, I was watching you sing the other night. You seem to have all these people really kind of like always surrounded by people who like to chant. You have these people inspiring them to go chanting. And I think that was really wonderful. How long you been doing this now, 24-hour kirtan?
We're in our 20th year.
20th year.
Yes, I've been here for more than 20 years now.
You mean you chant from morning till the next morning, non-stop?
Continuously, every day.
Wow.
With hopefully as few, let's say, lapses as possible. But that's the general principle, is to continuously chant. Srila Prabhupada told that in an atmosphere where a chanting party has previously passed through, that atmosphere becomes spiritually purified, even if it's namabas, because there's 3 stages of chanting. There's the offended stage, there's the semblance of nam stage, clearing stage, and then there's the pure stage, when one is chanting the pure name, which is directly non-different from Krishna himself. So, even if one has not yet come to the platform of chanting the pure name, but his chanting of dhamavasi can help to purify people from material contamination and help them to become pious, force them to become pious when they enter the atmosphere where the chanting was. They become forced to become pious. So what to speak of an atmosphere where the chanting is continuous? So anyway, and what to speak of an atmosphere where the person who comes in contact with that atmosphere gets 1,000 times the benefit of coming in contact with an atmosphere where chanting is continuous. So the idea is to do good for others, not only for those who are immediately associated with the chanting, but for the whole movement.
So basically, people who say that by just chanting you're not benefiting others, it's a misconception.
It's a misconception. Just by chanting the holy name, if one's chanting the pure name, then how much more benefit? Because the pure name is inclusive of Krishna's antaranga shaktis, or his internal spiritual potencies. Because the pure name has that much weight of influence, because the pure name is Krishna. When one is having the pure name, he's not exactly chanting the pure name, but rather the pure name is dancing on his tongue, using his tongue as an instrument for his divine sound, shabda, Brahman, spiritual sound vibration incarnation into this atmosphere. So when one is chanting, or appears to be chanting the pure name, then Krishna, making his divine advent into the atmosphere, is naturally entering the ears and influencing the hearts of the people who hear that vibration of himself in all purity in the form of the transcendental name. So one cannot one should not underestimate the efficacy or the utility of even sitting in one place without going anywhere, sitting in one place and simply chanting the pure name. By chanting Shuddhanam, because it's understood, even Prabhupada has mentioned in one place, I remember reading in one transcription of a conversation, he mentioned that it's believed that every sound vibration goes around the planet 7 times before its dissolution. So if one is chanting the pure name and that vibration is going around the planet 7 times before dissolution, and if the name is constantly being chanted by an individual, sitting in one place, not going anywhere, but how much benefit would be there, not only for the souls, not only for the human beings, but if we take Gosti means family. There's so much talk about Gosti Anandi, preaching Krishna consciousness to uplift the family of devotees, to bring more people, more living entities into the fold of pure devotional service. So if we think in terms of human beings only, then that is a relatively small conception, small-minded conception of what the word Gosti refers to. Gosti also refers to other souls entrapped in other living entities, in other bodies. How many microbes, will you find in 1 little cubic inch of air. Millions of microbes within 1 little cubic inch of air. How many little insects all around? How many little rodents or little lizards or whatever there may be? You know, plants and whatever living entities may be there. You know, how much benefited they are if someone is chanting the pure name. You know, but what to speak of those living entities? You know, the whole planet becomes benefited by someone who's chanting the pure name. In other words, by the influence of a single pure devotee on this planet. And what to speak if there's many pure devotees? Some pure devotees may be staying in one place, some pure devotees may be traveling all over the world. But in any case, whether one is staying in one place or whether he's traveling all over the world, if he's chanting the pure name, Shuddhanam, then he's doing thousands and millions of times more than one who's only chanting the dhamavasi, what to speak of aparadhanam. Whether he's chanting in one place or traveling all over the world, making a show of being a gaudiya-vaisnava preacher. It's not enough just to go through the motions, claiming to be, you know, a gaudiya-vaisnava, evangelic angel, doing good for others. We have to know, certainly, within our own conscience, not consciousness, but conscience, whether we're actually on the platform of chanting Shuddhanam. And if we're not on the platform of chanting Shuddhanam, if we can still admit to being on the clearing stage of chanting, or if we still can admit to being on the offensive stage of chanting, because of maintaining material attachments even after understanding so many instructions, that is offensive to the holy name. Or committing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name, or any such guru avagya, disobeying the orders of guru. In so many ways, you know, if we admit that we're on that platform, then how much good are we actually doing everyone by spending thousands and thousands and even millions of dollars traveling all over the world again and again and again, supposedly doing our service to the institution?
Do people benefit at all from hearing Namaparad?
If, according to Jagadananda Pandit in Prema Vivarta, he says that even if one is an offender, but if he knows, having heard from Guru Parampara, if he accepts that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and even though he's not chanting the pure name, but if he accepts in principle that the pure name is non-different from Nami, Krishna, even though he hasn't come to that platform, and even though he's an offender, he says that his chanting will still gradually, Bahu Janma Kariyari Shravana Kirtana, how gradually, who knows, but gradually his chanting will purify him from material contamination. Gradually. But it doesn't mean that he will be capable or qualified, having the adhikar, to actually propagate prema, which is the real purpose of this movement. This movement is supposed to be an extension of the Panchatattva's endeavor to break open the storehouse of love of Godhead and distribute love of Godhead all over the world. So if we're not doing that because we're still on an inferior platform of devotional life, then perhaps we shouldn't be so boastful about the preaching contribution that we're supposedly making to this Krishna consciousness movement.
Okay. I want to ask you, I smell a really good aroma in the room. Could you just tell a little bit about that, and also how you decorated your room like this?
Did you take any shots of the room? Perhaps you should
Yeah.
take a look.
I mean,
This is actually, to be honest with you, in my childhood, I grew up in the countryside, so I'm more a village folk than I am a city folk.
Mm-hmm.
Although I spent many years breaking my vow as a child, and when I saw pictures of New York City, and especially in the New Jersey section where there's so much pollution, all these factories and stuff, it was so hellish looking. I basically vowed that I would never go to New York City. But when I joined the Krishna consciousness movement, I broke my vow for the purpose of helping Srila Prabhupada, preach by distributing books or whatever. So I spent so much time in New York, but actually I came to Vrindavan with the hope of getting, let's say, the facility for reviving my village, rural life, consciousness, mentality. But I ended up being stuck in a concrete building,
So
So I wasn't very happy just staying in a concrete building. So I decided that I would make it a little more village-like,
Oh, I see.
just to pacify my heart, bring in a little more of a Vraja mood
Oh, okay.
by decorating the walls with cow dung and mud.
This is cow dung. That's why it's
cow
brown.
dung and mud mixed.
Mud. Okay. All
did
right.
you do all the handwork, the designs yourself?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It took me a couple of months to do it.
Yeah. Could you
One hot season,
Uh-huh.
while everyone left Vrindavan to go to the Himalayas to chill out. I stayed in Vrindavan, and I did all these.
Could you explain the middle of your room, that piece of wood?
What, the tree?
Yeah.
The tree? Well, the tree is, although it's acting as a harmonium rack.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I shouldn't do that to him.
Uh-huh.
But this is a small branch off the near the top of the huge tamal tree that used to be in the courtyard. Prabhupada used to sit under that tamal tree.
Oh, okay.
They used to hold the umbrella over his head so that the birds that were sitting in the tamal tree wouldn't pass stool on his head.
Could you describe some of the other pieces of wood that you have there? They're from various sacred places.
Over here, behind me, you'll see that there's various. These are my tree dundas.
Mm-hmm.
Some people take tree dunda sannyas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've taken tree dunda sannyas.
Mm.
These are my tree dundas. These are from trees and creepers from different parts of Vrindavan, from Nidhivan, Vangsivat. This is a tamal tree. Vangsivat, the vata tree from where Krishna stood playing his flute to call the gopis for Maharas.
So when you go to different places of pilgrimages, you just take some of those different artifacts, so to
Yes.
speak. Okay.
Because it mentions, and every day I worship them.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I put I wash the feet of the tree with water.
Oh,
I
I
offer
see.
water to the tree.
Uh-huh.
Because it mentions in one place in Vrindavan Mahimamrita that by worshiping the trees of Vrindavan, that the trees will benedict the devotee
Oh,
to eternally reside in Vrindavan. So
okay.
So can you tell
of
me
course Tulsi is the best of all trees.
why did you choose cow dung? And is there some
Cow-
benefit for using cow dung?
Cow
in
dung
the
is
room?
pure. According to Shastra, cow dung is pure. It mentions that Lakshmi resides within cow dung.
Mm.
Of course, we don't require anything from Lakshmi's side because we're devotees of Radharani.
Mm.
So we don't require anything from her. But still, cow dung is very opulent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if people was to smell cow dung, though, they wouldn't think that way.
No, but cow dung is also fresh. It's antiseptic. According to Shastra and scientifically, it's been proven. The cow dung is antiseptic and pure. Of course, generally, the floor should be done daily.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, what you see on the walls all over here, this has been like this for at least 15 years.
15 years it's
Yeah.
been like that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So as long as it doesn't get wet,
Mm-hmm.
it remains intact. There's no problem.
So it's like super dry.
Yeah, it's very
Oh,
dry.
alright. Is that a cabinet?
Yeah, that's also covered.
Whoa.
That came a little later. He made
Yeah.
that 7 years.
Go into your room
Yeah.
is like it's another world.
Yeah,
You
I never
know?
was in a room like this.
It's like
Yeah.
another world. It's like going to another.
Well, one thing is
Atmosphere.
for sure, if you see this many shalagram
Yeah.
shilas in one place,
Uh-huh.
there's more than 1,200 shalagram here.
Okay, you can explain a little
Yeah,
bit.
tell us
You
about
should-
your deities. Which deities did come first? And I remember your little Gorni Thai and Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta.
It is another world. This is Golok Dham.
Get close.
This is the spiritual world.
And this is your main deity? Or could you
What,
name
what,
some?
This-
what,
this
describe little Gorni Thai first, and
My-
Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta.
My first deities were my little Gornitai deities. I was hankering for personal deities, and I remember I was on the Radha-Damodara party at that time, and I would feel very distressed every time my leaders, the powers that be at that time, they would take me from one set of deities on one bus and put me on another set of deities on another bus.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I was playing musical deities. You know, there's a game, musical chairs.
Do you say these small deities that I see are actually off the bus?
No,
There's his first
no,
deities.
my first deities. Because I was explaining that I was becoming distressed because as soon as I would become attached to one deity, worshiping one deity, I'd be ripped away from that deity.
Oh, I see.
and then I put on another deity, and then ripped away from that deity and put on another deity, and I couldn't tolerate it
Right,
anymore.
right.
And then the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, was that they sent me out on in the vans away from the buses for like 2 or 3 months, and I had no deity association, and I was pretty much dependent on the association of Krishna in the form of his deity. So at that point, an ardent desire manifested in my heart to have my own deities. And at first, the authorities that be on the Sankirtan, Radha-Damodara Sankirtan party, they were not in favor of the idea because they would prefer that I would take care of deities that were already installed by Srila Prabhupada. So they sent me to Baltimore, and I took care of Nitay-Sacisuta in Baltimore. But then I got ripped away from those deities too. But fortunately, a week before I got ripped away from those deities, one life member came to me and told me that his Gurukul boy, he had a boy in Gurukul, so that he could not any longer take care of these Gornitai deities, then if I could please take them.
Is that the
So,
one in the
so
middle?
those little Gornitai deities,
in the very back over there.
yeah,
Alright.
these are two of the original Hare Krishna dolls that Srila Prabhupada instructed.
Okay. What about the one over there, right there in the middle?
In the middle,
Yeah,
she came later. That's Janavamata.
Janavamata.
Janavamata is the Pratishtacharya of our Diksha Sampradaya.
All right. And then you got the Srila Prabhupada. Could you explain the one on
There's
the right?
Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta.
The one on the very top right?
This is my first Govardhan deity that I received in 1986. That
Okay.
was in 1986 I received
Gopi Janavala.
Gopi Janavalava.
Oh, those two.
And
Okay.
then Radharani.
There's about 5 of them on that side.
Yeah. Well, no, there's
1, 2, 3, 4.
no. You're talking about the deities.
Yeah, the deities, yeah.
Those are the Astasakis.
Astasaki.
There's first there's Gopi Janabalava,
Uh-huh.
and then my little Vijay Gopal is a Govardhan Shila.
The one on the second.
It was given to me by Bhakti Bringa Govinda Maharaj.
All right. And then a third.
And then there's Radharani.
No, all right. And then the.
Then Radha up on the asan.
Okay.
There's Radharani,
Oh,
and then
okay.
and then her younger sister Anangamanjari.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I only see 2 deities on the outside.
You have to
No,
come
there's-
come to
More
this
than
side. And you'll
two
see.
Come
Right
stand over
there.
there,
Right
dear.
there. There's 5 on that side.
No, there's
1, 2,
There's 4.
3, 4. 4.
It's blocked
This-
by flower.
Yeah.
The flower ground's kind of in her face.
Yeah.
4.
anyhow.
All right, all right.
but there's
There's more on this side.
Radharani and her younger sister
Uh-huh.
Anangamanjari.
There's.
Okay.
All right.
And then down below the asan you'll see the Astasakis. From far to frontwards, left to right. So there's Lalita, then Vishaka, and then there's Chitra, Induleka, Champakalata, Tungavidya, Rangadevi, and Sudevi.
Wow.
Which is that,
Yeah,
like
the-
in Mayapur, they're
They're
situated
different.
differently.
They're differently.
Okay.
But I'm doing according to Dhyan Chandra's
Right.
Arjan Smaran Padati.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Now if we go all the way far left, could you explain
Yeah.
the one?
This is this deity was given to me by one Babaji Maharaj. He this is also Govardhan. I worship him as Gopal because Srila Prabhupada appeared in the dream to me one time telling me that I should worship Krishna as Gopal. So I worship as Gopal. I call him Giridhari Gopal Sham. His name is Sham Gopal. And there's behind him, although without any decoration or anything, is another Govardhan Shila who I worship as Balaram.
Okay. And those shalagram shila.
All these shalagrams, they're newer.
The newer.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they
Describe
didn't.
some of your favorite shalagrams?
They haven't made it to
A tray.
a tray yet.
What, did you get those after after Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj?
Yeah,
Just recently,
yeah,
since you came back from Mayapur?
yeah. Indradunda Maharaj gave them to me right before I went to Maya.
Oh.
A couple of days before.
How long for you to take to worship all of this? How long will it take you?
It takes me, including cooking for them, it takes me approximately 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours that you have to worship and
Yes.
and do all your deity.
Yes.
Every day, 4.5
Every-
hours.
yes.
Do you know the exact total amount of shilas you have here?
No, exact no, but over 1,200.
Over 12.
Can you show us Krishna's hand? This is a very amazing Shila.
This is Krishna's hand. You can see. You see here? This is the ball of the thumb. And here's this part of the hand, the palm of the hand. You see? Can you see? And the fingers and thumb.
Wow.
And Krishna's hand, why reddish color? You can understand if you know anything about Krishna's dealings with the gopis.
Oh, I see.
Because of his placing his hands on the breast of Srimati Radharani, whose breasts are covered with kumkum, so the redness of the kumkum has come onto his hand.
Wow.
In Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna's hand combined with the gopi's breast is very, very auspicious.
Hmm.
Very auspicious.
So what would you give to them? What kind of offering would you give them?
I offered daily. I massaged them all with oil,
You massage
scented oil.
each one of them.
Every one of them. gets-
Each one of them with
Each one
oil.
of them
Oil.
individually.
You would go each one like this.
Yeah, each one I put
Whoa.
oil
Whoa.
on each one,
Uh-huh.
and then I bathed my Pradhan Shila, the main Shila,
Mm-hmm.
along with a few of the Shalagrams, which are my prominent,
Mm-hmm.
at least favorite in certain respects, Shilas. And then I take the sprinkling device
Mm-hmm.
and I pour water from the conch shell, Tulsi water from the
Sprinkling,
conch shell,
could you make a
in-
sample how it goes?
into the sprinkling device.
Okay.
I don't want to
Sure.
really demonstrate because I
Right,
don't
right.
want
You
her
could
to.
you could demonstrate
but-
on that
but-
side. Just
See,
all right.
Like,
All right.
see
Got
this
that one?
sprinkling.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay.
So the and I sprinkle them so that every shalagram gets at least three drops of water, because
Okay.
according to Hari Bhakti Vilas, 3 drops of water constitutes bath for shalagram.
Oh.
So a minimum of 3 drops of water is required.
Mm-hmm,
Then after sprinkling, of course, they always get more than 3 drops of water,
Right.
because I more or less spray them, and then I go and I dry them all off,
Wow. Uh-huh.
and then I take chandan, Tulsi chandan, because it's described in the Tulsi Mahatmya, the Padma Purana, that if you offer Tulsi chandan or Tulsi paste, that means the paste from grinding the wood from the Tulsi tree, then you will always remain with Krishna, and Krishna will never leave you. So I'm always afraid Krishna will leave me, because
Oh,
I'm
wow.
so fallen that
Right.
So
he has
if-
every reason to leave me.
Is there any way to identify the shalagrams as from any other rock or stone? Is there? I mean,
Well,
how would you know these are shalagrams?
See,
I
the
mean,
thing is that you more or less have to know where they came from, because according to the Padma Purana, every stone on the Kali Gandaki River is shalagram.
That's where you get it from.
On the
Where is that
Gandaki
located?
River, Kali Gandaki River in Nepal.
Nepal. That's why.
Now it's Nepal. It used
Yeah.
to be part of India.
Uh-huh.
It's in the Himalayan,
Right.
the Annapurna mountain range.
This that where you go to get all the shells?
Yeah, well, I didn't get them all.
Yeah, right.
Most of them came to me.
Actually, the
Without-
original glacier Damodar Kund is actually in what's politically now China.
China.
All right. So that's very far. If you tell me
Yeah.
it's very far from here.
Yeah, well, it's quite not so far. It's not as far as America.
All right.
You know.
All
have
right.
you ever
Okay.
been there to get your own shila?
Yes,
in
I went there one time, and I didn't collect so many. Maybe around 30 shilas I brought. And then when I had to leave India to get a new visa, I went to Nepal, and went on Shalagram Sankirtan with my begging cloth, and went from, because in many places they sell shalagram, which is supposed to be completely against scriptural injunctions.
So you went. With
So
your
I went with
cloth.
my begging cloth and begged shalagram from the various shop owners who
No
were
kidding.
selling the shalagram, and I collected about 85. All these most of these shalagram here.
That's why you collected it.
I collected
Right.
during. So my first tray filled up from my collection, excursion to Nepal, and then afterwards, so many just came.
Just came.
Year after year,
Wow.
they come to me. I haven't gone to Nepal again since.
Do you achieve a certain benefit from worshiping shalagram?
Well, one thing is it mentions that one becomes freed from all offenses committed in the deity worship. If there's any seva aparad done in the deity worship in the temple, then by worshipping shalagram, one becomes freed from all those seva aparadam. Aside from that, shalagram is Krishna. Of course, some people say they are Narayan shilas, but there's some explanation as to how they are Krishna. First of all, the main evidence that shalagram is Krishna is Radha-Raman. Radha-Ramanji appeared from a Damodar shalagram shila. Krishna manifest from the Shila. According to Sanatana Goswami, he says that although any Vishnu Tattva deity can be worshipped in any shalagram, regardless of the external characteristics, different chakras, etc., still, a pure devotee of Krishna will only see his Ishtadevata, Brajendanand Krishna, in any shalagram.
Why is there's a beads on?
This is Tulsi,
Tulsi.
because shalagram likes Tulsi.
Right.
And because I don't, I can never at this point, especially during the winter season, I can never get enough Tulsi to offer Tulsi to everyone. So usually I take, because in Hari Bhakti Vilas it mentions that if you can't offer fresh Tulsi, you can take a Tulsi which was offered the previous day and wash it off and offer it again. And if you don't have that facility, then you can offer dry Tulsi. If you don't have that facility, then you can simply touch with Tulsi stick.
So do you have to offer a lot of boga or a lot of food,
No,
so to speak?
I offer
Where would you
whatever
put
I
it?
offer to my Giriraj.
It's over there. Where would you put it? I don't see any area here.
Usually I put it up in front of Giriraj.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I
see.
put in front of Gornitai for Gornitai, and I put in front of my Gopijana
Could you
Balavar for Radha
conclude
Gopijana
by
Balavar.
telling us about your big Gornitai that you have here, and tell us of how long you've had them and the circumstances by which they came, and your particular relationship with them?
Well,
Because we know that you have great regard for them.
anyway, what can I say? They're the life of the 24-hour kirtan.
This has something to do with the 24-hour kirtan?
Well, because I'm in charge of the 24-hour
Oh,
kirtan.
right. Oh,
And they're the life of my life.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Could you tell us briefly the story of how they originally were on a Vrndavana-Sankirtan bus?
And how I stole them from the bus.
And you
Because
did?
of the great mistreatment that they had been subjected to, you say you're stealing. Your stealing actually could be considered rescue.
Rescuing, yeah. Because they were on the back of a bus, Sankirtan bus, and unfortunately, one night when the Sankirtan bus was coming back to Vrindavan, being driven by someone who was inexperienced, a Western devotee who had never driven in India before. So, as sometimes happens on Indian roads, one of these lorries, the big truck, carrying goods from one state to another, was pulled off into the middle of the road, stopped without any lights or any kind of warning, and the man was underneath the truck trying to repair the axle because it was up on jacks and just sticking out in the middle of the road. So it took the driver by surprise, and of course the driver couldn't avert the accident, so he ran right into the back of the truck. The truck was like sideways, and the bus hit the truck and knocked the truck off the jack on top of the driver of the truck and killed him. And of course it ripped half the side of the bus off also. But the deities weren't damaged. But unfortunately, the bus was left abandoned for at least a week with no one taking care of the deities in the middle of the summer. So hot and dusty. So when the bus finally came back to Vrindavan, I just promptly went down and unscrewed because the bases are made so that they can fit into like a holder in the bus, and so I unscrewed them and just took them to my room without any discussion about it, and begged them that they would stay with me and never leave me.
and never go back out on the bus again. And so they rebuilt the body of the bus, and a month later, when the bus went back out on the road again, the driver unfortunately rolled the bus over and over again down an embankment on the side of the road and completely totaled the bus. And I felt so happy that I had taken the deities off the bus, because if the deities had been on the bus when it had rolled, that they wouldn't have survived.
Yeah. So in conclusion, Aindra Prabhu, thank you. We want to thank you so much for giving your wonderful time with us, and for a lot of people out there who want to see this film. And I just want to ask you one thing. We've known you in New York City 20 years ago, doing your harinam on the bus. You're always into the harinam. You would decorate the harinam bus and everything. I would always see you fixing it all up, putting fiberglass on it. You're into your own world there. And then you just disappeared. And you were in Vrindavan. And you never left Vrindavan. It seems like you have a really, what's the attachment in Vrindavan? I don't see any material stuff in your room. You're just completely a happy person, So people out there, they will see that they, just please explain your attachment in this particular place called Vrindavan.
Well, when you live in Vrindavan, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, you gain experiences from the spiritual platform that perhaps a materialist may not be able to perceive. So, due to the fact that I've gained some very profound and serious experiences in the progress of my Krishna consciousness by residing in Vrindavana Dham, and due to the fact that I have faith in the words of my spiritual master, who has instructed about the magnitude of benefit in the matter of residing in Vrindavan, which I personally feel and experience in my own life. And due to the fact that I see that it's my number one duty to the mission of my spiritual master to somehow or other get this soul back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. I've taken the residence in Vrindavan to be the easiest and perhaps the lazy, intelligent way of accomplishing that for the service of my Guru.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Copy of that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I just need a moment of,
He took a whole series of photos of Prabhupada's 55th Street visit in July '76.
I just need a moment of silence. Just,
One moment of silence,
Yeah.
please. Get their lotus feet. Close up.
The best picture is from above them,
Above them, looking down.
and a slight angle down. Then you can see the lotus eyes in the most dramatic way.
yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, again, beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
And being here with you in this environment, I think they're exhibiting very intimate and amazing expressions that perhaps wouldn't have been so much shown, not in this environment.
If they were on a temple altar somewhere. They're so sweet.
Yeah, nice.
Very beautiful.
Beautiful.
And you see they have full length beds for them, and every day you
Really?
put them in bed behind them.
Well, you put him down?
Yeah,
Put him a cover on it?
yeah,
Wow.
because
That's cool.
they're light enough to do that. You know,
Wow. How long you been doing that?
15 years.
15 years you've been
And
putting
you
them
did, so
to
that
bed.
incident with the bus is now 15 years past.
At least.
Wow.
Probably more than that.
You know the way you